he sang The White Cliffs of Dover to everybody before he left.
Oh, lovely. Hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim. Hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. How's everyone?
Hi, Tim.
You're okay.
How are you? Hi.
All fine. Yeah. Just had a bit of a sort of slow day. If you know them, I imagine you're all extremely productive 24/7.
No, I'm not. I have very slow down days sometimes. Today's been better. Today has been better.
Good. Pleased to hear it.
They vary.
Yesterday was a slow day because it was so darn cold I didn't put my nose out the door.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It felt like March all over again.
It's freezing.
It's the last thing we want. Don't want to go through all this again.
Mind you, there's no need to go out. So really,
Well, I went for a walk over the downs near the White Horse at Bratton.
Yeah.
And it was so hot. I was walking without my shirt on. And we
Really?
we came back here and had a barbecue. And it was only about 6 o'clock. It started to cloud over a little.
Are you
It
living in a
glorious day.
Dave, are you living in a different country? Yes, are you? Where are you? Are you living in a different world?
On what day was that, David?
This morning.
You must be living somewhere else on the Mediterranean.
It's been a wonderful day today here.
It got very hot this afternoon.
Very cold.
Yeah, this
When
afternoon.
I was up the garden, we actually wanted to take my
English to
cardigan
talk about the weather.
Yeah, it's so typical.
Very cold wind we've got. Ooh.
Tim will be giving us a weather song at the next Zoom meeting.
He will, won't he?
Maggie,
Yes.
I've been playing quite a bit of bridge.
Yes, so have I.
I'm using this BBO site.
No, I'm using a site called Trickster.
All right.
And we're having our first 4, hopefully.
Yes, I am too.
Yeah, but I play all day. Every time I have a few minutes, I go back to the old thing and start playing bridge again. It keeps me going. It's fantastic. Mind you, there's some morons who play on the other side, I tell you.
Are you winning every time then, Maggie?
No, I'm not winning. And I look at them and when they put their hands down, I think, what the are you doing,
Janet.
you idiot?
Hi, Janet.
Turn your sound on, Janet.
Jenny, last week.
Yes.
Last week when we were singing whatever it was, and Tim kept referring to bar numbers. Our music doesn't have any bar, and I kept waiting and trying to draw his attention, but he didn't take any notice. But can we do something to draw attention?
Right, Rosie, you can always unmute and speak.
And shout.
Right.
All right, and then he'll pick it up. Okay.
Okay.
That's the best way to do it. Is unmute and say, "Hang on, where did you mean from? Haven't got bar numbers."
Oh, I thought it was Tim who muted up.
So what I do at the beginning of the session, I mute everyone, but I leave you with the option to unmute yourselves. You can take the nuclear option, which is to mute you and give you no method of doing anything. But in fact, if you want to briefly, hang on, manage. If I click mute all now, then if you want, just practice finding the unmute button and unmute yourselves, and I've got a little list. So I'll click mute all. Yes. And if you want to have a go at finding the unmute button and unmuting yourselves, so you know how to get it.
Hi there.
It's at the top.
Yeah.
Depends what you're using, whether it's at the top or at the bottom.
I'm unmuted.
Bottom left.
Can you hear me now, Tim?
Yes, I can.
Wendy, that's it, you're through. Chris, you're still muted. Mary, you're still muted.
Hi, Janet.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Lady and John.
You're muted.
Did anybody else?
Sue, you're still muted.
I'm muted.
David, you're muted. Linda, you're muted.
Sue is muted.
You need to unmute.
I thought we were going into a muted anyway.
Yeah, no.
Practice.
I wasn't taking it.
Practicing our unmute. And we have practice, Ed. Now.
Yeah, Tim did it so that we could work out, everybody could make sure how to do it. Helen's still muted.
Hi, Helen.
That's all right.
How many are we tonight?
Yes, Angus.
We are.
Oh, hello, Angus. Hello, Angus. Nice to see you.
16,
20,
20. Yes.
Still no Verdi, and I'll go and give her a ring.
24.
How many?
Can't hear you, Angus.
24 at the moment. Angus, you need to unmute.
Unmute and say
There you
hello.
are.
There you are. Hello.
Okay.
Helen.
Hi, Angus.
Hello.
Nice to see you all.
Good to see you.
Good to see you again this week, Angus.
I managed
Yes,
it
we
this
missed
week.
you last time.
Last week I failed with the technology.
Oh,
I think I mastered it now.
Right.
I'm
Good.
okay.
Well done.
All right. Shall we make a wee start with the theory session? We encounter the delights of 6/8 this week. So if you think you already know your 6/8, then come back in about 10-15 minutes, and we will do some Verdi. Nice. I'm just going to mute everyone again, and then I'll share the screen, and then I'll make a start. Where's it gone? This looks like the right thing. There we go. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see 4 times tar on the screen? Ace, good. So brief recap, starting right from the beginning, because we're covering quite a lot. We have our basic note, our basic rhythm is the tar, which is 4 crotchets. These are 4 crotchets. And the rest, the silent version of this is a sa. The quick version, the note which is worth half a tar is a tate. Those are 4 groups of tates, or sarses as the rest are known, and those are called quavers. Then halving those again gives you taffy-tiffies. They're semi-quavers, and then if you're going up the other direction, instead of halving, you're doubling the length of note. You have 2 tar-ars, which are called and the rest is a sa-ar, and they're called minims. And then the longest note that we've come across so far is the ta-a-a-a, which is a semi-breve. You don't need to know what a breve is unless you really, really like Renaissance music. And not just like it, like really like it. And we also came across last week the rest version of the semi-breve, which is a sa-a-a-a, or it stands for just a whole bar's rest, whatever time signature you're in. So it can stand for 2 or 3 or 4 or 15, just depends what you're in. Bit odd. And we've also come across our dotted notes, the 1.5 notes. So this is our dotted crotchet, which we've met so far. Hang on, I'm just shifting this around. Which we've met so far in context with a quaver, and that's a tate. So it takes the same time as a ta-ta or a ta-a. And the half version of that is a ta-fita, the quick version. And then the long one, the dotted minim, which is worth 3 crotchets. And we call that therefore a ta. And then last week, the last thing we briefly found last week was the tie, which joins 2 notes together across the bar line and gives you much more flexibility in what sort of rhythm you can write down. So let's just do a couple of revisions of those sort of things, particularly the tie, so we can get back in the zone. All right. Have a quick look at this one, and I'll count you in for 4 and then do it twice through, and then we'll do it all together once. Ready? 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And again. Brilliant. That was quite quick, I realise. Let's do it all together. Let's make sure we're all on the same page. Ready? 3 and 4. Ta sa ta te ta fe te fi ta sa ta sa ta 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 sa. Great. So with that tie, remember we say the note as we would without the tie, but we just leave out the first t. So instead of going ta ta in the second to third bar, we go ta and sort of hear it in our heads, but not say it. And that means that they get joined together. Lovely. Try another one. I'll count this one in, and you can see that we're in 3/4, which, as we learned last week, just means 3 crotchets in each bar. I'll count you in. 1 and and we'll do it twice through. 1 and 2 and 3. And again. Brilliant. And all together now. 1, 2, 3. Sa, ta, sa, ta, ta, te, ta, te, ta. Good. That's a bit fiddly. But you get the general idea. All right. Do this one for me. Twice through. 3 and 4. And again. Brilliant. And this one we've come across again this whole bar rest, the sa, which just takes up the whole 4 crotchets in each bar. With me, once through. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Ta fe ta fe ta fe ta sa ta te ta fe ta fe ta sa sa ta ta ta. Brilliant. And one more revision one. This, I'm not sure we've come across this version of the tie. So have a quick look at it, figure it out. I'll just count you in, do it twice through, and I'll be a bit slow this time. 1 and 2 and 3. And again. Brilliant. Let's do it all together. So here we've got the ties linking to semiquavers, linking to the taffetiffies, which is a bit odd. And we have our full bars rest at the end, which just means 3 beats, because that's the full length of the bar. Good. With me. 1 through. 1 and 2 and 3. Ta fe ta te ta. Ta fe te fi ta. Fe te fi ta. Fe te fi ta. Sa. Good. Let's just do that once more. That ta fe te fi is a bit funny. 1, 2 and 3. Ta fe ta te ta. Ta fe te fi ta. Fe te fi ta. Fe te fi ta. Sa. Brilliant. Okay, so that's the general idea of pretty much everything we've done so far. Now, when we were doing the time signatures last week, we talked about 3/4 just meaning 3 crotchets, and the 4 because there's 4 crotchets in a semi-brief, that just means crotchets. And as we know, we can split that up into 6 quavers, tate, tate, tate. And each quaver represents 1 crotchet, 6 into 3. But what happens if we write it differently? What if we want to say 6/8? Because that looks like it just should add up to the same amount of time. Well, this is what allows us to do songs and tunes which don't fit into the sort of the 3/4/4/4 feel. It's things like my body lies over the ocean, my body lies over the sea. That doesn't, you couldn't put a 3/4 or a 4/4 on top of that. It just wouldn't fit. Same with Silent night, holy night. It just doesn't fit. And so 6/8, when we see that, what we've got to know is that, yes, there are 6 quavers in each bar, but instead of groups of, instead of pairs of quavers, they come in 3s. So this is the new thing that we've got to make friends with. Groups of 3 quavers. So not ta-te, 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 but ta-te, te, ta-te, te, ta-te, te, ta-te. My body lies over the ta-te, te, ta. That sort of thing. And as the eagle-eyed of you will have spotted, that means that our main beat isn't a tar anymore. Our main beat is a dotted tar, a dotted crotchet. So when you see 6/8, you've just got to sort of take your mind and just put it a bit off. And instead of reading this note at the top to be a tar, you wait for your dotted crotchet, and that is your tar when you see 6/8. So that's it there. And then we're going to call the quaver version a ta-te-te. It's worth saying that the system of saying the rhythms slightly starts to break down when you have things in 6/8 and very complicated things like that. But we'll do the best we can. So our basic beat is ta, 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 and it breaks up into ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, ti. And like in 3/4 and 4/4, we can break that down even further into taffy, tiffy, tiffy, 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 taffy, tiffy, tiffy. And like the other ones, we can go the other way as well. So we've got our long note, which is a ta, which instead of being a minim, is a dotted minim. It's a bit weird to look at just like this. It will make much more sense once we start to see it in context. There's a couple of other rhythms I just want to introduce you to before we encounter them in the wild, as it were. This up here is going to be our tate. And you can see that that's going to add up to 3 quavers as well. Our crotchet, which is the first note, is 2 quavers, and our quaver is 1 quaver. And so that all adds up to 1 beat, but it's not da ba ba but ba 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 ba. That's our ta te ta te ta te. And here we introduce a dotted note. We're going to call this a ta fitty ta fitty ta fitty ta fitty, which is, think of this like your silent night little group. Silent night, holy night, ta te ta ta te ta ta te ta fitty ta fitty ta. So it's a nice little type of rhythm. Let's just do some very simple ones to get started. Give this one a go for yourself. If it's still a bit weird or confusing, don't worry about it. Let's do it once through by yourselves, and then we'll do it once through with me. Ready? And I'll count you in 2 in. 1 and a 2 and a. Brilliant. How'd you do? Let's do it all together just to make sure of this. 1 and a 2 and a ta 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 ti ti ta ta ti ti ta. Good. So the basic feeling, when you see 6/8, don't think of 6. 6 is just, it's just a notational thing. That means that's how many there are, but you've got to think in 2. Ta 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 ti ti ta ta ti ti ta. So thinking in 2 is the way forward. Good. Try a slightly harder one. Try it through by yourselves twice, and then we'll do it all together. 1 and a 2 and a. 1 and again. Good. How'd you get on? Let's do it all together. We'll do it all together twice through. 1 and 2 and ta 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 ti ta ta ti ta ti ta 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 ti ti ta. We're doing it again for my benefit. And ta 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 ti ta ta ti ta ti ta ti ti ta. Good. Is that starting? Hope you're starting to get a feel of this time signature. It's got a very particular swaying, rocking feel to it. Good. All right. Let's do this one all together. We've got our full bars rest in the second bar, which we're just going to call a sa. 2 beats, 2 rests, sa. And we've got our dotted crotchet rest here, which I don't think we've come across, but it's just the rest equivalent of our new ta. So sa in the last bar, it's just sa ta. That's all. Simpler than it looks. Let's do it all together twice through. 1 and 2. Ta sa ta ti ti sa sa ta. Ta sa ta ti ti sa sa ta. Nice. All right. Start to come a little bit. This one looks terrifying. I promise you, this one's easier than it looks. Let's do this one all together. Really nice and slowly. 1 and 2 and ta ti ta ti ti ta fi ti fi ti fi ta. Ta fi ti fi ti fi sa. Ta fi ti fi ti fi ta ti. Oh, and I missed out some words at the end. I'm so sorry. Those last 2 are tatis. Let's do it again. 1 and 2 and ta ti ta ti ti ta fi ti fi ti fi ta. Ta fi ti fi sa. Ta fi ti fi ta ti. Good. Is that starting to make sense? The tas and the sas and the ta ti ta ti ti ta fi ti fi ti. It gets faster, but it's still sort of manageably fast. Oh, I just remembered. If you know your Messiah, the other really well-known one in this time signature is, "O thou that tellest good tidings to Zion, arise, say unto the cities of Judah, ti-ta-ti, ti-ta-ti, ti-ta-ti." So that's another one to get your ear in. Let's do this one. We've not come across this group, so let's do it all together. 1 and 2. Ta 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 fiti ta. Ta fiti ta ti ti ta fiti ta. And again. Ta 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 fiti ta. Ta fiti ta ti ti ta fiti ta. One more time for luck. And ta 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 fiti ta. Ta fiti ta ti ti ta fiti ta. Nice. All right. This is a bit of a whistle-stop tour of 6/8. We're going to spend a lot more time. I'll find movements that we can sing all together that have this feel to them, and where you can start getting used to this sort of notation, so that it's not just some abstract concept, but you start to sort of get into it. The last thing before we leave, and this is very relevant for the Verdi, is that the Va Pensiero, the chorus of the Hebrew slaves, we're going to read it in 4/4, 1 and 2 and 3. But the orchestra is playing a version of 6/8. It's actually playing 12/8. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Instead of 1 and 2, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so Verdi has to take that little ta-ti-ti, out of the 6/8 and put it into 4/4. The way we do that, the way that we fit 3 notes into the space of a ta, is just by writing 3 notes and then linking them with a 3. We call that a triplet. Let's do this all together. It makes much more sense in context. It's just like quickly switching between a 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's do this all together. Twice through. 3 and 4. Ta ta ti ta ti ti ta. Ta ta ti ta ti ti. Ta fi ti fi ta ta. Ta ti ti ta. Ta ti ti ta. Does that make sense? Let's do it again. And ta ta ti ta ti ti ta. Ta ta ti ta ti ti. Ta fi ti fi ta ta. Ta ti ti ta. Ta ti ti ta. Good. So when you see a 3, you've got to suddenly put your mind into the 1 and the 2 and then immediately go back. Good. That's rather a lot all in one go. This is very much an introduction to 6/8 and to triplets. We're going to do a lot more in previous weeks, in subsequent weeks. So if it's feeling a bit sort of on the edges of your fingertips and you've not quite got it yet, don't worry, it's going to be plenty of time to come back and get this. All right, nice. I'm going to stop that so you can see my face again. Let's have a quick warm-up, and then we've got a... then we'll do some Verdi.
Tim.
Hello.
Tim, it may be us, but all the time you were talking, we could hear as if it was a radio on the background. Is it just us that's hearing that? Anybody else? No.
No.
Well, I'm going to leave and see if I've got something on my iPad that's doing something
Kept
silly. And
going bubbly for me.
What?
It kept going bubbly for me every so often.
No, I think we were getting Boris or something.
It's as if he's got a radio or someone's got a radio on in the background. There's constant talking. So I'm going to leave for the moment and then come back.
All right,
Okay.
that's fine. Thank you. I will. It might. I mean, there's this sort of laptop fan, but that's always on, and it doesn't seem to cause too much interference too much of the time. If other people are getting that, then do let me know, and I will see if I've accidentally clicked something funny this end. I may have done. So yes, if anyone else is getting lots of static or interference or background something, do let me know. Great. Let's have a stand. Good. Nice. Good. Oh, the wall behind me. Give your shoulders a roll. Good. Nice and slowly. Good. And let's go forward as well. Like we're doing the world's smallest butterfly stroke. Good. Good. And just, let's just, one more time, just do one roll back and then sort of set them. It's very easy for our natural posture to be a bit slumpy and for our shoulders to get involved with that, for our shoulders to, instead of being back, being forward. So quite a nice way of sort of getting them to into a comfortable position is to pick them up and just roll them back and put them down again. And it feels sort of like a nice reset. Good. Have a stretch up. You can't see my hands, but I promise they are stretching up. And all the way around. Nice. Good. Good. Give your hands a shake out. Good. And give one foot a shake. If, like me, you're wearing slippers, take them off before they kick the TV, and shake the other one. Good. And just go up and have a little jog on the spot. Nice. Loosen up those knees. Nice. I was thinking about shoes this week, not because I bought any, but I was reading about how having heeled shoes is one of the things which affects people's posture. If you have heeled shoes, you're putting much more of your weight generally throughout life on your heels, and you can feel if you rock your weight onto your heels mostly, then your knees automatically sort of lock in, and you can also feel that moves your hips back like that, and it rocks your whole body forward. Whereas if you go up in your toes, or your whole body sort of zips up, straightens right out, and your hips change position and your shoulders change position. If you go from heels to toes, you can feel that actually just that little element of balance affects lots of postural things. And heeled shoes encourage our weight to go onto our heels. So there's an interesting thought. But it's something to generally bear in mind that when we're standing up, keeping the weight evenly balanced or between the heels, between the balls of your feet and the heels, with a sort of slight preference towards the toes, will help keep everything a bit more vertical and aligned and stop it slumping down. Good. Give your jaw a little massage. Good. And your head turn to one side and breathe out. And a little further. Nice. Good. And make sure your knees are still nice and loose. And to the other. And breathe out. Great. Great. Super, 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 super. And just give your neck a massage. Nice. A lot of the stuff that we'll do in a minute with the warm-up will be vowels and consonants and connecting them together, because that's basically, if you can sing nice pure vowels and connect them in the right way to consonants, you've sort of done Italian. It's a singer's language for a reason. It's very easy. Let's have a yawn. Oh, have a longer yawn. Oh, good. Just be aware of what your larynx is doing when you have a yawn. Have a swallow, and have a yawn. Some people's larynxes are easier to identify. Mine sticks out about 3 miles. Some people's are set a little further back. But as you yawn, just be aware that as you open up that space, the larynx will drop down just a little, and that's probably quite a good thing. It's very easy with lots of muscular tension to hold the larynx a little bit artificially high. Good. And have a sigh out. Oh, good. And have another. Oh, good. And have a sigh out to awe. Oh, good. And a slightly longer one. Oh, good. Put your hands there and just be aware of how this sighing and breathing in is starting to move all this stuff. Sorry, my brain's going. Let's go back to R. Nice potato breath in and sighing out through the heart over a count of 4. Right? Oh, good. And breathe in and sighing out for 8. Lovely. And have a sigh out for let's go for 16. Let's go crazy. Ready? Oh, good. The important thing with those long notes is to keep it open here. Let's go somewhere in the middle of your register. Just say good. Good. Make sure that's through the same yawny, potatoey, sighy space that we found. Good. Say it longer. Good. And even longer. It's sort of turning into singing now. Good. And on that pitch, whichever one you found, that one pitch again. Let's all agree on this pitch. Good. Enjoy the feeling of the breath going all the way through the throat and right into the head, and resonating all the way up here. Let's do a little arpeggio. We're going with me. And again, keep the breath flowing through. And let's go to that. And let's go down to that. Let's go vive va vovu on the same pitch. Vive va vovu. Really let the sound go. Vive va vovu. Good, and now longer on the va. Vive va vovu. And let's go to that. Vive va vovu. And let's go down there. Vive va vovu. Good. And let's do that same whole arpeggio, but only to v. So nice. Now make sure that when you're doing the v, that you're not suddenly going v, that it's not closing down here. Make sure there's that same hot potato yawn space inside the v. So the v is just a light touching together of the bottom teeth and the lips, keeping lots of space inside the v. Let's do that arpeggio again. And let's go to the. And let's go to the. And let's go to the. Let's go. Just one more thing, and then we'll start some singing. Try this one. This one works for me. It may not work for you, but give it a go. What we're going to do is a very quiet interval on a sort of slightly open M. And then we'll do it twice, and then on the third one, we suddenly open to R, almost like we're surprising ourselves. So it's and then the hum should be very open and gentle, and then the R just suddenly comes out and joins it. And so when you release the sound out, you're not changing anything down here. Let's do that. Good. Let's go to there. nice and open. Do it once more. Keep the hum nice and gentle. Good. And finally, give in your own pitch and in your own register, let's go a few times. I can't warm up this bit of your voice for you. Find the highs and the lows of your own voice. Good. That's also a nice workout for this. Good. All right. Let's do some Verdi. We're not going to sing sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow because I've not thought of a different song for this week, mostly, but also because Va Pensiero is about as good a vocal warm-up as you could possibly ask for. Nice. Good. Share. Good. For those of you who don't know, this is from the third act of Nabucco, which is Italian for Nebuchadnezzar, and it's all about the biblical Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar finally seeing the light and coming to worship the god of the Hebrews who are in captivity. And this piece, the Va Pensiero, is based on the famous psalm, By the Waters of Babylon. It's a paraphrase of that, except it's a bit less violent. The end of that psalm finishes with the psalmist wanting to take the Babylonians' children and smash their heads against a rock. Whereas this one is a bit more hopeful and positive. Good. Let's sing it through. I'm going to play the whole introduction because it's just great. And we'll sing it all the way through. And then we'll, if we need any notes going over, as usual, unmute yourselves and have a little shout at me. And we'll do that, and then we'll start to work in some details. Good. Alrighty. I think this should be shared. There we go. Lovely. Here we go. great. It's just... Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Spotify was decided that that was the perfect thing to follow an advert with. Hang on. Right. Okay. Let's go back to the beginning. I'm just need to keep an eye on when Spotify has decided it's finished advertising. All right. Let's go back to the beginning. We're all working with slightly different editions and bar numbers. So there's the main thing to get into this is a sense of what it means, because it's such heartfelt music. And if you're singing vowels and consonants, then that's great, and it's part of doing the Italian language properly. But it's about 20% of the battle. So I'm just going to go through it, and if you want to write in, this is more or less a literal translation. If you want to write some of this in, if it's not in already, that might be useful. Or if you just want to listen and remember. So va, that first word is go. It's an order, it's an imperative. It's go, pensiero, thought. Go, thought, on golden wings. Sull'ali dorate. Go, va, go and rest on cliffs and hills. Va ti posa sui clivi, su colli. Ove olezzano tepide e molli means where the sweet and soft. Hang on, sorry, this translation is a bit funky. I thought this was the Ove olezzano tepide e molli. Laude dolci da suolo natal is. I'm really sorry. I thought this was the right translation I had here, and it's just all sorts of nonsense. Ove is where, and olezzano is smell. So where the smell tepide e molli, where the smell sweet and soft of the air, laude. Oh God, sorry, I'm getting all muddled up. Laude dolce de suolo natal. The suolo natal is the native soil, the soil of birth. So it's the Hebrews sitting in captivity and daydreaming, really, poetically daydreaming about the sweetness, not just the sweetness of their native land, but the sweetness of being in their native land. Then they talk about Del Giordano, le rive saluta, greet the shores of the River Jordan. Del Giordano, le rive, the River Jordan, saluta, to greet. Di Zione, le torri, the towers of Zion, atterrate, is toppled or ruined. O mia patria, si bella e perduta. Oh, my mia patria, my home country, my fatherland. Si bella e perduta, beautiful and lost. Oh, membranza, oh, memory. So dear, si cara e fatal. So dear and fateful. It's not fatal as in sort of mortal, as in deadly. It's a different sense of fatal. Let's go back to the beginning, not right at the beginning, where you start to sing. And I want you to find some memory which works for you, which is some sort of daydreaming, gazing back, thinking of a sweet, sweet land memory. but it's also halfway through. You've got to think of it going wrong. The towers of Zion that were beautiful and are now ruined. It's a very conflicted memory. So find something which works for you emotionally. And I'm going to see if this is working. Oh, for God's sake. All right. I'm sorry, my Spotify is being a real uncooperative friend right at the moment. Excuse me just one moment. I don't know what it's doing. Come on, here we go. Okay, here we go. Alright, so let's skip forward a little bit because the introduction is quite long. Bill. Good. Here's some things to think about vocally, which will help in the expression. The thing that we were doing in the warm-up, the through an open space. Make sure that is the first va. It's not va pensiero, but va pensiero, and you've got as much space just to let the sound come out. This is not, in the best way possible, this is not subtle music. It's about giving yourself the permission to make lots of vocal noise. And that starts from the very first consonant. Va pensiero. Suoli dorate. Then same again. Va ti posa sweetly, sweet colli. The other thing to watch out for generally, in terms of the pronunciation, is not only keeping the vowels very neat and pure, the va, in terms of a, e, I, o, u, but also where we've got double consonants, like in colli, va ti posa sweetly, sweet colli, sing on the L. We have to hear that it's doubled. There are some words which mean just different things. If you have, for instance, in Italian, M apostrophe A-M-A, mama means she loves me. But mama, M-A-M-M-A, means mother. So if you don't do the consonants the right length, then it can mean something like really very different. Yeah, you don't want to be serenading your loved one and saying how she loves me and accidentally talking about your mother, like Freud would. So, sweet, sweet Golly. Then in the next word, o violettano, the double Z, o violettano, te pidemmo, molli. It's a really hard balance because you've got to go molli. You can't go molli. You've got to sing the G on a consonant, but also give room for the double. So on the vowel, but also give room for the double consonant. So just be sort of as quick as you can. Molli, lauded. Where are other ones? Oh, and in bar, some of you don't have bar numbers, so it's where it says Dizione le torri atterrate. Dizione le torri, the staccatos. You can do them with the consonants. Dizione le torri atterrate. You've got to roll. Every time you see a double R, it has to be rolled. Torri atterrate. The double consonants will help with those staccatos. There's a whole load of stuff to think about, but that has to come out of and be animated by the emotional content of this, the homesickness and the sweetness of the memory, and the homesickness and the memories of your place that was destroyed. That's all. The expression comes from there. It's not put on top of, if that makes sense. Let's go from the beginning and see how much of that we can all fit in. Good. In some of you don't have bar numbers, so it's Dizione le torri atterrate. Oh, mia patria. That has to go through. Otherwise, it's just wrong. I don't know why. It's just wrong. Take your breath there. So somehow take a giant breath before Dizione. And just pace the use of your breath all the way through there. Good. and because it leads to "Oh mia patria si bella e perduta." Good. Let's take it back to let's go back to Del Giordano le rive saluta, and keep digging into that memory, keep digging into the emotional content of this, and we'll go on this time. Remember to go through that. So that's going to be about. I might not get the timings right, but it's going to be about here, I think. there. It's so hard to find anywhere, just because the music has so much drive. Good. I didn't give you the. I only gave you the translation for the first. Good. So here we go. We're looking at the where it goes to harmony. Arpador is golden harp. Golden harp of the prophetic poets. Fatidi civati. Why do you perché muta da salice pendi? Why do you hang silent, dumb? Muta da salice pendi. Le memoria nel petto raccendi. You renew memories in our heart, in our breast, nel petto. Ci favella del tempo che fu, and talk to us of the time that was, che fu. Hang on, that's wrong. O simile di Solima infatti, Solima is Solomon. O simile like Solomon, and the it says poets, but I think fatti is prophets. Traggi, give out, give forth, un suono di crudo lamento, give forth a sound of crude lament. Ti spiri, or may the Lord, il Signore, May the Lord inspire you to a melody, un concerto, that may give virtue to suffering, che ne fonda il patire virtù. So you're talking about how your song, in the middle of all this carnage, can make what you're going through more bearable. Let's go back to where it goes into harmony. Arpador, particularly this goes for the first tenors and sopranos, because you're quite high in your register. But you've got that, you're singing on lots of E's. Arpador dei fatidici vati. Make sure that this is your mouth is in an R shape. Just give me an R shape for your mouth. It's a bit hot potato-y mouth, and then you just move your tongue, the front of your tongue, up just enough to make an E. Just try and go from you just need to move the tongue up. You don't need to change anything else. So still an R inside the E. And that will allow you space to sing the, instead of going fatidici, arpador de fatidici, it'll give depth and richness to the sound. And volume, more importantly, because this is very loud. Arpador de fatidici vati, perché and not only is it quiet, perché it's just a bit more stroked. Arpador de fatidici is sort of, it's very accented, and then perché like it's sort of like you're almost weeping it out. Perché it's got more gentleness to the attack. Good. Let's go back to there, where it goes into harmony, and try to get a few of those things in. Let's go, I think it's about, this is probably a little before it needs to be, but let's go from here. Good. Let's just pause there. There's one thing I want to pick up on there. There's a great opportunity there for that note we just finished on. I've talked about the hooty ooh, like an owl. I go So with me, I'm not moving my tongue, I'm not moving anything here, I'm not moving my jaw. All I'm doing, my lips are just closing at the front. And that means you can still sing with resonance, and it will still sound in the theatre. For this is what you are. We are an opera chorus. Good. Let's just spool back a little bit. And do that, and then we'll carry on. O simile disoli mai fatti. Good. So just spooling back a little bit, and thinking about the foo. Le memorie. a few things I just want to pick up on. Just before it goes back into unison, at Oti Spiril, you've got traggi with a double G, which is to give off the sound. Tragiun suono. Tragiun suono di crudo lamento. So let's have lots of tragiun, almost like you catch the J on in your mouth. Tragiun suono, and then release it. Good. And then at the big climax, make sure that you've got lots of space in the E. This is one moment where the sound needs to be rich and glorious. And if you go, it's just a little bit sort of disappointing. And then over the page, for that little coda. You can hear how long the choir hold it on for, and there's a moment where the orchestra comes off and the choir's still holding that note, and it's just the most magical moment of scoring. And if the oo is too, then it's not magical. You speak so let's just go back and fit those two things into the emotional journey of the whole thing. Oh, and there's one more thing I want to say. I don't think it's written the score, but the conductor, Carlo Rizzi, who does lots of work at the Met, who's the conductor on this recording, has chosen to go in the big climax. Suddenly diminuendo, and it's quite a hard one physically to manage, to put all that energy and then suddenly sort of let it float away somehow. It's a really tricky one, but be aware that it's coming up. It's almost like you start floating, like you were sort of hovering in midair really strongly, and then you just sort of start floating as if you're in a swimming pool. And then you build it up again. So lots of things to think about. The traggi, nice open and virtu, and being prepared for that diminuendo. Good. I'm going to aim for O simile di soli mai fatti, which is up beat to bar 37, if that helps. It's where the sopranos go O simile di soli mai fatti, where it suddenly goes minor. Let's go for about there. This might be a bit early. Oh, nice, is it? I'm going to give you a different recording just to change it up, and let's do it. Let's go from the beginning to sing it all the way once through, get the whole sweep of it. I'll not give you the introduction, and see how much of that you can remember. If you forget everything else, get the sense of the words and the text and the emotion that the characters in this opera are singing about at this point, and dig into it. Alrighty, here we go. Oh, hang on, that's better. quite a lot slower, that one, isn't it? Nearly a whole minute slower. Bro, well done. Lots of really good work there. I said we'd finish off with a bit of Vivaldi, so if people have got the scores there, that'll be fun. Let's just do it once through, because I've been rambling on a bit tonight, and so we're running a little longer than we usually do. But let's finish off with a bit of the Vivaldi Gloria, the Cum Sancto Spiritu. Let's do it with this recording because it's very cheerful and upbeat. Alrighty. Ready to go? Nice. I can't remember what pitch they're doing this is, but so I can't give you a starting note. Hang on. Let me check. Okay, so there's your starting note. Good. All right. Here we go. Ready? For fun. Have fun. Really good to see you all, as always. If not hear you as much as I would like. Have a really, hope you have a really lovely rest of the evening. Yes, and that's coming along, and I will see you again next week.
And thank you, Tim.
Right,
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Good. Keep the repertoire, suggestions, and songs and everything. Keep it all coming. It's all good to hear.
Great.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks,
Tim.
Right, thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.
Jen, see you soon.
Jenny?
Bye.
Yes.
Jenny?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Jenny.
Thanks for organising it, Jenny.
Jenny.
Very good.
Right.
See you next week.
Good night. Okay, bye.
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, Maggie.
Bye bye, darling.
Bye, Helen.
Bye,
Talk
Helen.
soon.
Bye,
Bye,
Alison.
Helen. Bye.
John, is Izzy okay? John, is Izzy okay? Didn't
He's
see
gone.
her.
Yeah, yes.
That's okay. As long
Yeah,
as she's
Izzy's
okay.
fine. She had to go out.
That's fine. As long as she's okay. Didn't
Yeah,
see
she's fine. Thanks. Yeah,
That's
thanks.
okay.
Out somewhere. Gosh.
Yeah,
Exciting.
yeah. She had a meeting with a lot of other people.
Yes, I know.
Can you tell us what it's all like outside?
It was a hug fest.
Jenny, I think Varian really does need a wee bit of help with getting her Zoom loaded, and that was
Yeah.
her problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
okay.
tell her that you might be able to help her tomorrow.
Yeah,
She
what I
was
needed-
worried about asking you again.
No, it's not a problem. I need her. If she lets me have her phone number, I'll ring her, and then we can talk as well as do it online. All right?
Yeah. I'll whiz you her numbers.
Okay, that's fine. Lovely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
We'll sort. Bye. Thanks, Tim.
All right.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
Tim.
all.
Bye.
Good night. Good night. Take care, all. Bye bye.
Bye, David.
Bye bye, Angus. Lovely to see you.